If you're feeling lost, demotivated, confused in your life, and somewhere deep down inside you, you know every single day that passes by, you're not able to give your best to the life. You're not able to fully live up to your full potential. If you're feeling the same things, then this video is for you, my friend. Hi, I'm Akash Kandukuru, 21 years old. I just graduated from BTech in AIML engineering, and I just quit my job editing for one of the biggest tech creators in India. And I did this job in Bangalore while I was still in the 4th year of my college. On paper, I did everything right. Debate, model United Nations, anchoring, speeches, dances, hackathons, coding, content creation, explored places, traveled a lot. I even ran my own video editing agency in 3rd year of my college. You name it, I might have done it. But deep inside, I still have this feeling ki I haven't done my best. I've done everything that a traditional college student who wants to do big in life has to do. But deep down, I did all of these things because I was running away from something. I was running away from my older self who was shy, underconfident, insecure in many ways. But I still have this feeling ki nothing has really changed. You feel that something is off. And I know that feeling is the reason why I'm not able to live up to my fullest potential. It's like my older identity hasn't changed yet. And while I was thinking all these thoughts yesterday, I came across this life-changing post on X. It's titled, "How to Fix Your Life in One Day." The second I read the title, I exactly knew this is what I need at this point of time in my life. So in this video, we together are going to figure out our lives. I'm going to execute this exercise with my own life, and parallelly, I expect you to do the same exercise while you're watching this video. I have linked the image below. You can download it, but I would still urge you watch this video with me and you see me how I figure out life so that you can learn a lot of stuff and you can easily figure out your life as well. And this is what I exactly call as the freedom stories. Alright, here we go. Let's start the activity. Full disclosure, I don't own this template. I'm just a medium to serve you guys. I'm going to figure out my life here parallelly. Just please make sure ki you open your notepad, Word, or just write it down. That's the best thing, you can write it down. I'm doing it here in my laptop. So let's do this together. How to fix your entire life in one day. Let me show you the whole mind map. It's not that big. It looks too big, but it's not that big actually. Okay, so let's start with the core problem. And I'm telling you guys, this is the most beautiful way anyone has explained success, intelligence, problems, vision, everything. Everything starts with the problem, right? If we didn't have any problems, then everything would be nice, but in reality, that's not the case. Everything starts with the problem. So what problem do we have currently in our life? Most people fail at change because they focus on actions rather than identity transformation. Success requires becoming the person who naturally takes those actions. Right now, with this current mindset, we have to force ourselves to succeed. But what if there was a way you could succeed in your life without forcing yourself? What if you felt naturally to do those actions which leads to success? Your current behavior serves unconscious goals that keeps you stuck. Absolutely true. Now, the next part, key psychological principles. The principles are identity first, action second. Alright, the author suggests that identity is the reason why we are failing right now. If you think about a person like Virat Kohli, Till Jordan, all these great people, they have this identity in their own head. वो जो भी करेंगे successful ही बनेंगे. But that doesn't mean you ignore the actions. Action is also equally important. But their identity is what makes them at that level. Okay, here's the interesting part. Successful people don't grind. Their lifestyle is natural to them. You must adopt to the lifestyle that creates results before achieving them. Habits that don't align with your goals should feel disgusting once you truly change. And this is absolutely true. Habits and systems is what make people consistently successful over the long run. You could do some things for a short period of time, but you could only get a temporary outcome out of those things. If you want to maintain that success, sustain that success to the rest of your life, you need to create systems, you need to create habits, you need to create routines. And that is what the identity shift is all about. Understanding your mind. Alright, all behavior is goal oriented. You unconsciously pursue goals that may harm you. Our current self is not actually successful. We are not in that system of success because we have this identity in our brain. We are limited by our insecurities, constraints which society has given to us. And that is what is stopping us from succeeding. But this is the time we need to change our identity to succeed. Here comes the next interesting part, the anatomy of identity. Let's ask ourselves this question. Who are you? First step, what we need to do is we need to define ourselves. I read the Bhagavad Gita and I came up with this idea of the Karma Yogi. It simply means a person who is willing to surrender himself to the actions that the goal demands. It's just winner's mindset, according to me. Think in this way. You have your future version who has already won in life. And you just need to ask yourself this question. What would your future best self do in this current moment? That is who you are. That is the answer to the question, who am I? And when you ask yourself in that way, when you execute things of your own life in that way, you start to win in life. You start to become a Karma Yogi who is a winner. He just wins. He does not care, does not complain. He just comes and wins and conquers. That's the mindset. I genuinely believe that everyone are born with their own natural gifts. And when you are following your own dharma, which is your responsibility, it's like your natural instinct to which you love aligning towards. You naturally feel to work. You naturally feel motivated. You naturally feel that clarity in your life. The question was, who are you? And the answer is, you are your future best self. This brings us to the next step, stages of mind development. The author has given the intelligence framework like this. Intelligence is equal to ability to get what you want from your life. It's so simple. All this life we talk about big words, intelligence, smartness, hard work, smart work, whatever. Usually forget to define these terms. Just think about this beautiful definition. Intelligence is simply the ability to get what you want from your life. A person can be defined as intelligent or not intelligent just on the basis of the clarity that he has from what exactly does he want from his life and does he get that in his life or not. That is simply it. Next, success requires agency, opportunity and intelligence. High intelligence is equal to ability to iterate, persist, learn from mistakes. Absolutely true. Let's talk about the most important step of this entire presentation. This brings us to the second protocol. We are done with the key psychological principles. We understand what is success. We understand what is intelligence. We understand who we are. That is our future best version of ourselves. Let's get to the main part of this video, which is the 1-day protocol. Anti-vision questions. What dissatisfaction have you learned to tolerate? Mediocre mindset, giving up when things get hard. These are the things which is coming up in my mind right now. What do you complain about but never change? My health, my finances. What truth about your life would be unbearable to admit? No change in the future. Describe your life in 5 years if nothing changes. Disappoint my parents. Next, end of life perspective. What did you never try? Alright, here's a honest confession. I'm not a foodie. I cannot adjust to all kinds of foods. I'm very particular about the things that I eat, the way that I live, my routine. So I think if I do not change that habit about myself, probably I am going to end up a skinny guy for the rest of my life if I don't change my relationship with the food. So that's a priority. What identity must you give up to change? I think the identity which was my older version of myself, which was insecure, just very scared in general, that I'm scared to face life. Let me take that one step deeper. What happens when I be in those uncomfortable situations? I feel nervous, I feel uncomfortable, my stomach starts feeling odd, my throat gets dried up, I might feel like vomit. You start feeling that breathlessness. And then what? You stop, keep going. But if I manage to push from that particular area, if I manage to just stay calm, breathe, see everything is normal, then suddenly I think things will start to change. That is the worst case scenario that is going to happen. I might vomit in front of everyone. I might feel breathless, but I'm not going to die. And if I'm going to die, it wouldn't matter to begin with. That's what the next question is all about. What's the embarrassing real reason you haven't changed? This is the embarrassing real reason. What if I fail? What if I feel breathless and I lose my aura for some reason? But yeah, man, that's a real honest confession. But let's come to the vision questions. So here's the first question that you need to ask yourself. Describe your ideal life in 3 years. What beliefs about yourself would make that life feel natural? I'm courageous. I can face all my fears. I can keep going when things get tougher. I'm basically a karma yogi, a winner's mindset wala guy who just keeps going. Perfect. And next question, what would you do this week if you were already that person? I would put myself in those uncomfortable situations, face my fears, and yeah, I would post content daily. Alright guys, so that was the whole video about. I have this interesting quote. Freedom is not given, freedom is earned.